Mom and Dad, are you ready?
Today's word is stupendous.
You need some encouragement.
Stupendous marriage encouragement.
You need some inspiration.
Christmas Day is going to be like, oh my gosh, I've waited. This is so exciting. And I get to open all these presents and they're mine. And I get to play with them and do all the things that I want to do with them. And well, that's the same thing that sex should be. And I know for you,
I get to play with them. I get to undress them. I get to do the things I want to do. Is that what you're talking about?
No, that's not what I'm talking
sorry.
about.
Okay.
Well, it is, but not really.
You're listening to the Stupendous Marriage Show
With our friends Stu and Lisa Gray.
Oh, loves that word. Stupendous.
The Stupendous Marriage Show.
Hey there, welcome to Stupendous Marriage Show. I'm Stu Gray.
Hey, I'm Lisa Gray.
This is the show where we talk about marriage questions that you send to us at onair@stupendousmarriage.com.
And our hope really is to not only just answer your questions in the show, but to interact with you. And just this week, we actually got an email back. We had talked about an email from a lady, a wife, and a situation going on in her marriage. And her husband actually emailed in and gave us feedback as well. And so we love that. We love to hear from you. We love to hear from your spouse. And he started listening to the show now. And, we're really hoping it's blessing their marriage. And, so if your wife or husband is not listening yet, feel free to invite them or other folks in your world, other married couples you know, to tune in and give us a listen.
And you don't have to include your name when you email us. I think that's something that we haven't talked about a lot. We try to keep whatever privacy you have when you email us. You have the option to not put your name on our form at stupendousmarriage.com. You can. Feel free to put your name and your email address and then your question to us, but you don't have to do that to ask us a question, just so we keep some anonymity to your situation if you feel it's kind of a touchy situation.
Yeah, and if you ever have a question that you want to ask that you would prefer not to be on the show, still email us. Like if we can email you back and give you some input and encouragement, we would still love to do that.
So how was Thanksgiving?
It was very filling.
Since
I think
we had
did,
like three different versions of Thanksgiving, yes.
Thankfully, not on the same day.
Yes.
Or even right around each other. We had one a week out and then a couple days before Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving Day. And I don't know what I was thinking. I scheduled my annual just checkup with my doctor the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Dun, dun, dun.
So when I got on that scale yesterday, I was like, what was I thinking? Like, I know I weighed 5 pounds heavier than I did the weekend before. I was not thinking that one through. But it was really good. Overall, we had a really great Thanksgiving break, and we missed recording the show, but we're glad to be back at it.
I think my favorite of the 3 Thanksgivings that we did was probably the one with the kiddos that we served. There's a ministry in our town that serves inner city underprivileged kiddos, and we got to serve them Thanksgiving, and then we got to sit down and eat with their families and stuff at a local church, and it was really, really cool. Not that ours wasn't cool. We have great friends over and family on Thanksgiving Day, and the one we did with their small group was awesome too, but I don't know, that really meant a lot to me. It was really cool to bless those kids and bless their families and just kind of be with them. I don't know. There was something about that was really special right before Thanksgiving. I thought that was super cool.
Well, it just reminds you that not everybody has a big Thanksgiving dinner that they're going to go to, and we had volunteers bring in tons of food and we were able to serve and, like you said, sit and eat and talk with them and just to get to know them some. And that was really the first year that we had heard about it to be able to do. And it really was something special about that, just being, and their kiddos in our community. We live in a really nice town and a really nice city, and there's a lot of wealth in our area, and yet there's still a lot of poverty, and a lot of people just don't know that. And just to see that and know that this organization is actually ministering to those kids was really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. We've got an email coming up. We're glad you're here. Okay, so now we are officially in Christmas holiday season, and we figured we'd give you a Christmas holiday tip from the Grays.
Woohoo!
This is a Christmas tip from Stu and Lisa.
Recently, I read a great post on Facebook where somebody was talking about doing, instead of just, downloading tons of toys on your kid on Christmas Day, just giving them tons of stuff that they don't have room for and they don't play with anyways because they just play with the boxes, Instead of doing that, especially if your kids are like over 8 or so, giving them, you can give them some presents too, but giving them like a coupon book of experiences that they can redeem throughout the year. And so one of those could be like a shopping spree worth $40 to their favorite store. But the thing is they can only redeem like once or twice a month one of those coupons.
So it spreads it out all year long, so it's not like all together, right?
Right.
That's
and so,
cool.
as cheesy as it is, what if you also did that for your marriage? What if in your marriage you said, hey, once a month you get to pick, once or twice a month you get to pick something out of your coupon book, and it might be a back rub or running the bathwater for you or a date night out or doing the dishes for you, whatever it might be that your spouse would appreciate, and giving that to them, I think would also be a really cool gift instead of just a generic new scarf or underwear.
What's wrong with new underwear?
You want new underwear, honey?
I don't need new underwear. I'm doing just fine.
That was a Christmas tip from Stu and Lisa.
Here's our email for today from onair@stupendousmarriage.com. Hello, Stu and Lisa. I wanted to hear your thoughts on this. My boyfriend and I have had premarital sex. We live together. We're planning on getting married when we finish at university. We haven't been with anybody else. We're each other's first. People have told me that we should stop, which is hard to do. But for me, it's harder because I don't see the reason why. If I stop having sex for a couple years till I get married, that doesn't make me a virgin. It also doesn't change the fact that we've had sex. Does God care more that we stop for 2 years? Or if we make love based out of love, not lust? I just don't see what would change if we stopped having sex for our engagement. Not living with my boyfriend is not an option at this point in my life for various reasons. Thanks.
Thank you so much for the email. Man, that's a hard place. You know, you and I can actually speak to this pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we were in the position that we made some poor choices and we were living together and having premarital sex. And about 3 months before our wedding, the Lord just really convicted both of us that we needed to do that better.
Yeah.
And set things right. So we talked about it, and we could also not afford to live apart.
Right, sure.
With the situation we were in. And so you just moved in the spare bedroom, and we took a break. Ours was only 3 months, so that's a little less than 2 years. But the point of it is really about honoring God. It's not about checking a box or what other people think. It really is about your heart. And the fact that you have thought about it, and the fact that obviously the Lord is moving in that, I would really take a pause and think about it some more and pray about it and talk to the Lord about it, because something is happening. Something is stirring here that is making you think about it. And it might be that your flesh is going, well, why would I bother doing it? It's not going to make me a virgin anyways.
Right.
When it may be Holy Spirit that's saying,
hello,
but God,
Yeah.
But it's about honor. It's about honoring, and it's also honoring your future husband. If you take a break from having that, how much better is that intimacy going to be once you are officially husband and wife?
So here's my hard word, okay? Here it is.
Okay.
If it's truly love, why don't you go down to the courthouse right now, tomorrow, and get married? Go do it. Go get married. That way you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that, though? Is it just your flesh wanting to have a little fun, or a lot of fun, or however much fun you guys decide to have before you get married? If you really want to get married and you want to do it right, go down to the Justice of Peace. And then you can have a big celebration in 2 years, with your friends and family when you have the dollars when you get out of university. But are you going to do that? So, what are you really, really wrestling with? Now, we like the physical nature of sex. Sex is good, and sex is powerful. Okay, you've got 2 years before you say you want to get married. A lot can happen in 2 years. What sex, I believe, is supposed to be like the overflow of all the other types of intimacy in your life, the cherry on top of the sundae, if you will, the wonderfulness that comes from you knowing your spouse on all different levels, sharing all things together, and sex is supposed to flow out of that. Now, if you're not in a covenant relationship, that's what marriage is, a covenant with yourself and with God, which is seeking the best of the other person in a caring type of way. That's what God's covenant is with us. He's like, I will protect you, I'll watch over you. And our covenant is to put him before everything else, all other little g gods or idols, as the Bible calls them. And sex can be an idol.
Right, of course.
So are you really going to put God first, or are you going to put sex first? This is tough stuff. I mean, it really is. We did it wrong. We put sex first. And with pornography, that is still another sexual idol. And, that's putting the sex act in front of God and my wife even. So on lots of different levels, I have dealt with this. And still have to remember to honor God, still have to remember to honor my wife. Now, the physical feels good. There are a lot of good feels that happen there, and it is tough to stop. It really is. Once you get going, it's like, well, you're right. Yeah, why would I stop? Yeah, you're right. It's not going to make me a virgin. You've already talked about that, Lisa, kind of justifying it in your head. But it's going to take a conviction of the heart, really stopping and going, why do I want to stop? Why is this going on in me right now? Why do I even have a check in my spirit? And really going down that road for yourself. You can ask other people till the cows come home. And people can tell you all this sort of stuff, but you've got to get the conviction in your own heart, and you've got to do it for yourself. That means you need to pray about it. You need to take time in the Bible. You need to read about it from God's perspective. You need to get his heart, because his heart isn't to punish you. His heart is not to keep you from having sex. He actually wants you to have an intimate, wonderful relationship, if this person is supposed to be your future spouse, with him, and to do it in a way he has set aside and instructed his people to have sexual relationships, which is in a covenant marriage before him and with one another. And the Bible says that's the best way to do it. Mm-hmm. It's for our best and our good, and that's how sex works best in a covenant marriage relationship.
I think of the way God tells us to do things not as a bad, trying to manipulate us or keep us from fun stuff. Okay, that's not what he's doing. What he's trying to do is he's trying to give us something that is so much better than we can ever imagine when we do it correctly. So as parents, we do that a lot, where we tell our son, no, you can't have that toy today. Right now, we're in that season where he wants everything because Christmas is right around the corner. And we've told him, you can't have any more toys between now and Christmas. Now, we're not trying to be horrible parents. In fact, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make him learn patience and let him learn how to really appreciate what gifts he gets on Christmas Day, right? So on Christmas Day, if he's gotten a present every day between now and Christmas, Christmas Day is just going to be another day to get a present. Oh, yeah, just get another present. I've already had 25, 30. But instead, it's going to be Christmas Day is going to be oh my gosh, I've waited. This is so exciting. And I get to open all these presents and they're mine. And I get to play with them and do all the things that I want to do with them. And well, that's the same thing that sex should be. And I know for you
I get to play with them. I get to undress them. I get to do the things I want to do. Is that what you're talking about?
No, that's not what I'm talking
sorry.
about.
Okay.
Well, it is, but not really. The thing is you and I, when we made that commitment and we said we're going to wait for 3 months, I love the fact that we can now tell our son when he's old enough, look, we messed up with this choice for some time. But then the Lord moved us towards correcting it and really trying to honor each other and honor him. And so we made this choice, and your dad moved in the spare bedroom, and we refrained from being intimate for 3 months. Now looking back, I truly believe, obviously that didn't make me a virgin, but it did break something. It broke a tie that we had with each other prior to marriage, so that when we got married, it was like a correction, like an autocorrect of the connection that we're supposed to have. And I can truly say that has just made our intimacy even better than before we were married, because there's something about sharing yourself with your husband or your wife.
And you talked about it being a tie, and it wasn't necessarily with another person, but it was that tie of the idol of sex being above God. We brought that down and into submission under what we feel God says about sex and marriage. So that's what that tie was that we feel like was broken. Now, the blessing you guys have here is you are just with one another. You've just had sex with one another. Thankfully, you're not bringing other people into your marriage too. Just the check in my head and spirit goes, gosh, in 2 years, what's going to change between the two of you? Unfortunately, you have had sex now. Not that God can't redeem that. He will. And he does, thankfully. I mean, we had to do lots of praying and repenting and, changing our hearts before him too in regards to our sexual behavior before marriage. But what happens if you do wait 2 years and you realize this guy's not the guy for you? Yeah, that's sad. Not that God can't do anything with that. Not that you have to beat yourself up about it. But if you're really going to wait 2 years, I mean, you have made decisions now that you have to take with you for the rest of your life.
Sure.
I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here. I really hope that Mr. Boyd...
I hope not. You're a guy. Why couldn't you be David Downer? Like, what is a Debbie? What is Debbie? What's wrong with Debbie?
Nobody says David Downer. You say Debbie Downer.
I haven't heard that since my grandmother say it.
I pray that he's your guy. I pray that your fiance is your husband in the future, and so that's not a thing. But it is, I don't know, it's just rumbling around, and I felt like I had to get it out of my head before it just went out of my head.
Well, the thing about marriage is it is a commitment, and it's a legal commitment. It's a spiritual commitment, and you haven't made that yet. You guys have not. You have said, hey, one day in 2 years from now, we're going to make the commitment, but we're going to try to reap the benefits of that commitment now by having sex together. And the fact is you don't have that commitment together. You have not made that commitment to each other legally, spiritually, in any way. I also challenge you in the fact, why wait? If sex is that important to you and being intimate is that important to you, and yet you want to be married, why not get married now? I mean, why not go elope? And then you can even not tell anybody. Like, it doesn't matter. It's about you and your husband and God and honoring. It is really, honor is the word that I keep hearing in my head. When you were reading the email, I kept thinking, man, it's not about you actually at all. It is about honoring God. And if you want God to honor your marriage, then you need to honor him in taking this step that he's obviously really talking to you about already.
Let us know what you decide. We love to hear what you guys come up with together. And, if God's really moving on your heart or changing you or convicting something, again, on air at stupendousmarriage.com is the email.
There's no judgment here. Trust me, we've been there.
Yep, totally.
We've been in the exact position, and we will be praying for you guys just to have wisdom and to be on the same page together about how to move forward.
We'll talk to you next time.
See ya. Yeah.
Like the show? Like the show?
Yeehaw.
Share the podcast. Tell another couple.
Hold on. Hold up. Yeah, so if your husband or spouse... Yeah, so if your wife...
St. Petersburg, Florida calling.
Oh, good. Probably should turn your phone off.
True.
Turn your buzzer off. Have you figured out... Are you still recording?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Or doing the dishes for you, whatever it might be that...
Here's our email from today.
It's a spiritual commitment. It's a spiritual commitment. Why are you singing that song?
It was on the radio. I was driving home.
Did you turn the channel?
No, I was singing along.
I mean, was it the channel on already in the car?
No, I was listening to a lot of different things. It was not already on.
Gotcha. But you can listen to If Baby Got Back?
I was dialing around. Silicone parts are made for toys.
You're still light.
Even white boys got to shout, "Baby got back!"
Can I have some of your protein shake? I'm low on energy, so obviously whatever you're drinking's doing well for you. Okay, let's start over. Yeah.
Like the show? Like the show. Share the podcast. Tell your married friends.
Yo.